Basically, I hope that you're all well. Let's get right into this reading. I already scribbled down some stuff. I tried to restart my phone, decided to do its own thing. As you can see, I was already deep into the message, but let's get right into it. At least I wrote it down, luckily. So, currently, I'm going to be talking to someone that might have lost a loved one through the army, through the military, or just in general lost a loved one. It could be a sibling more than anything. All right. Brothers of you, I'm hearing like it's like a brother or it's like a cousin or it's like an uncle. I'm not getting heavy like parents kind of a situation. It could be a father figure as well, but at the same time, it's like, yeah, I'm getting mostly it being like someone close but not close to be someone that is seen as someone of authority to you, or you know, or much older than you, or if they're older, it's someone that is like far from you within the family tree, technically. So, this person, it might have been that they have lost their lives, they have passed on due to a certain tragic event. So, the songs that I was busy channeling as I was busy doing this message were actually about 4 songs, 5 songs, somewhere there. The first main 2 songs, right? It's Army Dreamers by Kate Bush, and the literal meaning of the songs is how this person lost their future, um, simply because this is a story. Like the song basically tells a story about a young man that basically decided to go to the military, to go into the army, because they felt that they lacked options. They felt like they couldn't become anything that they wanted to become because there's this whole lack of options. There's this whole, push of like, hey, daughter, what are you doing? Like, what are you going to be doing soon? And so on. And it's like, it's always this mentality is what I'm hearing where it's like, um, no, just go into the military because you know that at least they'll accept you, they'll just, so it's like they might have gotten into that place. Or even if it's not a military, it could be a space where it could be a job that is just in general dangerous, but heavily I'm getting military because even when I shuffled the cards, we had more confirmation of it being the military, right? It could be like security, it could be like something along those lines, right? Yeah, because I'm also hearing some form of like initiation, so it's a very tense situation. um but even with the song, it also talked about a mother's grief, that your guys' mom, or you as the mother, you're grieving this child of yours, you're grieving the fact that you thought that this person is going to come here. Because I was also hearing um a specific person's name, right? But I'll disclose that later on. But it's like the mother was busy saying like, oh, like I'm so happy that you're back. It's like she was imagining, or as the mother, you were imagining that you're gonna be like, my child is gonna be home. Or even then, it's like, because I'm also hearing that for some of the moms, it could be that you felt like you messed up with the relationship that you had with this person. Or even if it's not just a child, it could be that as a sister, as an aunt, you felt like you disappointed this person. You felt like, so that's what I'm saying, that this family dynamic situation, it's very hectic because it's not just one person coming through. It's one person carrying the same message of other people that wanted to always say something, right, via the spirit world, but couldn't, right? Because I was also getting this vibe of being held hostage within the place that they're at, or just being unable to get home. So it's like this person is transferring the message not only for themselves, but for other people as well that are there, using himself, because there's many people, yeah, because it's like there are many people like me, but they won't understand because mine, it's like they're not like me in the situation in general, but we are similar somehow. Complicated, but let's get into it. So, also the song in general, it's like an anti-war song, or an anti-war message, because I was also getting that. I was also hearing like "Ha ke rate lwana," like I don't like fighting. I don't like fighting. But I'm also hearing it's like I have given up because I had no choice. And now I was also getting that this person, or these people, these spirits actually look at you in this eye of like, I'm also hearing connection. It's like you guys are very connected somehow. They look at you in this like with this spark in the eyes, right? They look at you with this thing of like, since mine are empty, I hope that your eyes light up, right? In terms of you get the things that you've always wished for, you do the things that you always want to do. Because the other thing that they were bringing through is that you need to keep going. And they were saying that this is going to be their hidden gesture, that they're going to keep being there for you. Because I was also getting the word functioning. They're going to assist you in functioning, or the family in functioning, because it's a thing, it's like the least that they could do, because they already felt like they disappointed not only themselves, but they also disappointed the family. But there's also a certain culprit within the situation in general, but we'll get into that. Besides that, the other song was Mama's Boy, which is by Dominic, is it Fike or Fik? I'm not sure. But it talks about how this person was always seen as rebellious. Maybe there were even someone that was like, because I was also getting the word explicit and stuff like that. Maybe they liked swearing. If they didn't like swearing, it's like the things that they do, especially when it's like maybe siblings. If it was a sibling, you'd know the things that they'd be up to and be like, "Hi, winner," and you just laugh, or you just let it be. You get what I'm trying to say. This person might have had a very difficult relationship with the mom. That's why I'm saying that if it is the mom that's watching this video, depending on who's actually going to see it, you might be feeling like, what, you messed up this relationship. And that's why I was also getting that with the message of the song Mama's Boy. It's about this person basically complaining that they're actually not a mama's boy. They were always, overlooked is another word that I kept on hearing as I kept on listening to the song over and over again, trying to get the message that they're trying to send through. But it's like now they're going to be taking back that title, especially since they're in the spiritual world, because it's like maybe they even see things differently. Because I'm also seeing that it's like right now they're looking at the sun and they're saying that, okay, this is a new day, but it's in a different lifetime, it's in a different space. All right, let's do things differently. I'm also hearing it's like you might have hurt me, or you guys might have placed me in a very wild position emotionally or mentally, but at the same time, yeah, because I'm also young, I have respect for you, and I basically adore and cherish you. Right? But just in general, this person might have been feeling neglected within the family, and their vibe might have been a vibe of someone that's like very nostalgic, very fun, very, for others of it, like you always just would tell them this joke or just laugh at them, be like, "Oh, you're so childish," and stuff like that. But it would be like, laughing, not in a way of like, So I'm also hearing that it's like they were constantly tied with certain family situations of being placed in a position of being seen as the child. Like they don't like the fact that you guys would place them in the position of being like, "Oh, you're a child. What do you know about the situation and all that?" So yeah. I'm also hearing beyond function. It's like he's saying I'm gonna do great things, to assist and so on. But the problem is that there's still something that has to be uncovered, because there's something that's weird. Okay. Besides that, um, a borehole might be significant. The word embroidery might be significant. Maybe like, making things for them or vice versa. They might have liked a lot of music. I was also getting things like a DJ and so on. Or maybe it's like this thing that you guys had in common, that you like music together. I was also getting that they like jazz. I was also getting like, with cartoons, it's like nostalgic, very close to. It was more confirmation that it could also be like a sibling and so on. Because remember, like I said, this person is not just is walking alone, but with many other spirits messages as well, because they share the same story but in a different way. Okay, so the other weird thing that I saw was that he said, he gave me a pin and said it's 0718. I don't know whether it's a pin, whether it's your angel number, whether it's what, but it's 0718. I'm also getting it. It's like currently they're in the space of being like in disbelief, right? I'm also hearing them making this meme, doing this meme of Latoya, the whole Latoya thingy, the whole Latoya saga where, her former partner, or I think they still partners, I'm not sure, where she was saying, "I am in disbelief, I am in disbelief," so the whole 0718 could be very significant. But also the whole distaste thing. With the distaste thing, I'm also getting that some form of chemicals might have been involved. If it's not chemicals, maybe it was like pills or something that was like very distaste, or just like distasteful, or like even if it's like pills, like treatment, if it's not treatment, just experience in life is what we are also getting in general. But I'm also getting that an email is very important. Maybe you should check the emails. If you have their cell phone on, you check their emails. But besides that, we also had the song "Breaking Free" from High School Musical, where they were singing I'm soaring, I'm flying, that's the main part that they were saying. Like, it's like, oh, I'm in the stage of trying to leave, I'm in the stage of trying to be at peace, but the problem is that I still have unfinished business, because even with the lyrics, it didn't finish off the rest of the song. They are soaring, they are flying, yes, but the point is that we have to finish off the rest of that lyric because it's one sentence on its own. So, now, the problem is that once I started shuffling and so on, we had assassination, right? With assassination, with the tunnel one, it's like maybe they might have almost finished with just their training work in general and whatnot. Or it's like they were always having this thought that's like, okay, it's fine. As much as I feel like it's dark here, I'm tired of being here, because I'm also getting like someone with under bag, like under the eyes and so on, being very tired. I'm also hearing exclusive, the word exclusive. But it's like, I don't know whether they might have had a nut allergy or might have liked nuts, because I'm not seeing like nuts. But anywho, I'm getting this energy of like starvation. If it's not starvation, it's like poverty meals. That's the kind of thing that's coming through. Like meals that you say, you know what, as long as I ate, kind of a situation. So I feel like besides it being a literal thing, it could be that like the mentality that, you know what, as long as I manage to live a couple of things, I manage to do this and that, as long, at least they're trying to comfort themselves. So yeah, I'm trying to comfort myself, but like it's difficult. It's like with this card, it's giving this thing of like they knew. That's why I was saying that it's like for some of them they were actually supposed to come home, and then everything was just, yeah. But it was seen as like a revenge. This is seen as a revenge thing where it's like they're trying to avenge themselves. Even with the whole outer space things, it's like maybe in the house. I'm hearing it's like maybe they like moving things in the house, or they're like shifting things whenever they can get the chance to come around you, or they're like doing something that you would feel like this person like to do this. All of a sudden, this thing is happening, but we know that we buried this person, or So that's another one. Again, we even had more confirmation, serial killer, right? And that there was some form of foul play. That's another one that I was getting, that like there was this intense foul play. I'm seeing the face of someone, just like someone hiding themselves, and we even had secret. So this thing was supposed to be, we even had more confirmation about how this person was supposed to be coming home very soon, but this situation is made to be seen as like a natural disaster. Like, oh no, something happened to them while they were, so we had homicide, right? That's another one, and how they were abused and neglected. That's all saying that the whole, like, I'm hearing the hunger strike. It could also be like the Hunger Games, right? Like it could be very significant. Remember when I said drugs or poison? It could be like things like certain chemicals, because I was also getting things like chlorophyll, like the scent in general, something just being, but apparently it was out of jealousy, and also that it led many others, and not only this person, to being very much dismembered and so on. But it's like people were doing weird things with certain people's body parts within this situation. Because remember, like I said, he's not only talking about himself. When he gets to talking about himself, he makes it specific, right? I'm also hearing the word sneakers, like something about his sneakers, because I'm also seeing, like, how we always had, or I feel like I always had this thing of like, once I saw someone's shoes that they placed over the what you call it, like the wires of the lights, the big lights on the streets, the street lights, right? I always had this thing of like, I'm scared, like, as a kid, not understanding, I always felt like this might be a mark that someone might have passed away here, because I always had this thing of like, I would envision like how people would say that as soon as you see, some people make a joke about it, but as soon as you see someone's shoe over there and then the other shoes over there, just know that it's finished with them. So that's the thing that I'm getting from it. But again, it's like, even in this moment, it's like maybe they were even, yeah, because I'm hearing trials and tribulations. It might be that their final moment, they already knew that they had some form of a target on their back. Besides it being a target on their back, it's like they might have even had this thing of like, they had encountered many other situations where they were always placed in this difficult thing, and they managed to survive until unfortunately this situation had happened, because it's like after they were placed in this vulnerable state by this person that claims to be taking care of them, because I'm also hearing that it could have been someone that they might have mentioned as like a friend, within that place and so on, like, oh, everything is cool, everything is okay. That person is currently, the both of them actually, but I feel like the spirit specifically is like in regret of trusting, because I'm getting that the trust issues are like on a very high note, right? It's on a very high level, right? Let me shuffle the other cards and then we'll get more confirmation on the situation. I just shuffled the other cards and literally the things that came through. Because even with the other cards I was getting, I even wrote it down that it felt like someone was standing on the sidelines and they watched this thing happen to this person, but they didn't say anything. I was also hearing that this person is actually making you channel songs like Bareking Hayo Matata, when God is there, there are no problems. That's literally the translation of the song. They don't want you to worry, right? But I'm also hearing it's like they want you to come to them, because this is that's why I was saying that even with the meme, it's like they like to make certain things seem like a joke when they know that things are very heavy, but they know that in general it's like this thing is genuinely upsetting, not only to them but also to the family. Like I said, this person might have also been seen as like a caretaker, someone that's like very, like, they might have been, again, the whole explorer thing, traveling long distance, staying far and so on. They might have not always been home, but they literally were made a fool within a certain case, because they basically placed themselves in a position of trying to assist someone, and that ended up being the trick that was played on them. Okay, because again, we even had military. It might have been that this person was within like the whole weapons development situation, or it could have been that it's a thing where it's like it's more confirmation of them being in the military, or if it's not a thing of them being in the military or any position that could be similar to it, um it's like people would always put on a guard around this person, because for some odd reason people were always uneasy around this person. Not, yeah, because I'm also hearing that this person was actually anointed, they were actually supposed to come out. Yeah, I'm seeing the eye of time, the clock of time. I'm also hearing the word fast forward. It's like they were like I said, they were not meant to be cut short of their lives right now. Even with the whole, this is a much more literal sense, where it's like, besides them possibly being placed in a position of, they might have been, like, I'm hearing tempted to do something, or even placed in a position of, oh, I'll give you this if you do that, and it ended up looking like, and they said no and so on. It upset that person or upset these people that were trying to do this thing to them. But just in general, it's like there was this form of greed around them, and not because they were greedy, but because these other people, they had their own secret plans, they had their own secret agenda. That's the thing, we even have obsession, but the other kind, I feel like I was hearing the evil kind, the diabolical kind, right? That's why we even had the whole forest disaster. It's like trying to place them in a very difficult position on purpose, right? Because I'm also hearing it's like setting fire to something, right? You as an or that other person actually doing this thing, instead of it being a thing of, it just happens in general, then we can say, oh, you know what, this person, unfortunately they had lost their lives, unfortunately they ended up within this kind of a situation and so on. This person might have also been someone that, or they might see you as someone that has other bigger dreams. Maybe you liked writing, or they liked writing, because we are getting publisher here. Maybe they were even going to come back and tell their story of how they ended up within the situation and so on. But again, we even had the cursed card come out. That's what I was saying, that I was seeing their eyes, and it's like they're very empty, like they're so empty. You can look at them and just you cry just literally looking at this person, because you can see, yeah, because I'm also hearing the word detrimental, like their health was just gone in general, like mental health, emotional health, right? Because I'm also hearing a hard stone, a hard rock. Okay, but just in general, this person might have been done wrong by a person that seemed to be a caretaker, because that's another thing that might have yeah, because I'm hearing it's like, yeah, I messed up by thinking and trusting in this because I usually just do things myself. I usually just do things by myself, you know. But just in general, it's like they were always taking care of everyone, whether even if it was not financially, right? Maybe they might have also been within a position where they liked gambling, or because we're having gambling here in acquisition. But just in general, with the whole situation, because we even had murder and witness, it was more confirmation that there was someone that witnessed it, and that this person was basically not the person that did this, but this spirit in general was a good Samaritan, right? Someone that always helped, someone that always, just like the Bible story that, what, assisting, constantly being there, and just constantly doing your thing. But yeah, I'm also hearing that it's like a collector of memories. Maybe this person wanted to collect certain stuff for family to show them, like, oh, when I was at this place, I was doing this and so on, collecting memories. When we're at this place, we do this and stuff like that. They were supposed to come back, is what I'm also hearing. Come back home to just tell you that, okay, you know, I'm also hearing Mama, I Made It by Casper Vest. It's like they were going to try and come back home and fix certain things with their mom, just be like, what, let's put it behind our back. I made it officially because, like I said, it's like the ending of something. They were supposed to be finishing off some form of training and then coming back home to just come and see it, and everybody was just going to be happy because I was also seeing like a celebration where it's like they were going to buy food and everything was just going to be good, everything was going to be okay. But this thing happened. This tragedy happened, because that's another thing where it's like they were tired of being placed in this position of poverty. They were tired of being like, you know they didn't want to end up in that position where it's like now they end up being a beggar or being the lower class and so on. So that's why they even just said, what, it's fine, I'll just take the position and so on. Another one is that this person might have been very much discriminated for their beliefs, especially knowing that that you or the family was very religious. That's another one where it's like they knew certain things, they knew certain stuff, and that's how your guys kept them protected while they were in that place. That's how they were, so that's another one, that there was some form of like domestic oppression. It might not only just be that, yeah, this one, it's mostly about how they might have grown up. Maybe they even watched, this abusive parent. Even with the whole drugs and drinking thing, it could have been that it was also something that was like that they saw growing up from a parental figure, and to them it's like this broke them, and they didn't want to end up like that person, right? Because that's what we were getting. Let's shuffle the last cards, the last few cards, as to what they'd like to say or what else they'd like to, But yeah, okay. Before we even, we had the judgment card upside down, and it talks about how this person is afraid that you're going to ignore your true calling. Right? Maybe you might also be placed in a position where it's like you have dreams that you want to achieve, but you're also looking at them and like, there's like, I can't really do this because of this and this and that. There's no positions in this and stuff like that. But like they're just really hoping and wishing that you do things differently. Like, please don't be like them, follow your heart, follow your, because I'm also getting that it's giving, you'd rather know that if it's going to be your last time on earth, at least you got to do or be within something that you actually loved doing or being in. And then also, even with the lovers card, it could be that it's like they always decide to just have someone, they always decide to be married, or even if they were married, it's like they're longing to be with their lover right now. But the problem is that unfortunately, time just, yeah, I'm also getting that it's like he keeps on checking up on them if there is a person that he's very connected to. Because I was also getting the Knight of Cups, where it's like, he's a gentleman. He's a gentleman when it comes to he's just always there. He's saying that maybe currently you might be going through some form of situations, and saying that you're going to be rising above and you'll be surviving certain things, and you must understand that the worst is over, because it's my turn to handle it. Like, he's finally going to be, he might like playing with your hair, or might have liked playing with your hair, or vice versa. But he notices that there's definitely someone that's very weird around you, that's very two-faced and so on. They're like gossiping about you. And besides that, he's also warning you that you should stop avoiding the truth about a certain thing, because currently you can see that you have to make a certain tough decision, right? He's like, there's no such thing as the perfect map to life, right? Again, like I said, it's like he's standing up for you. He's trying his best to just, you know, be there for you. I'm also seeing the word flights. It might be that you might be catching a couple of flights very soon. He's sending you like good news is on the way. Okay, good news is on the way. But just in general, yeah, even with the whole misinformation thing, it's giving this thing of like, don't listen to other people, listen to yourself, listen to your heart. It's another song that I'm also hearing, by Roxette. And then, yeah, because it's saying wrong decision and lack of focus. If you don't focus on yourself and you focus on what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is saying, you're not going to be happy, is what he's basically saying. And what's even worse is that he's saying that you are actually meant to be leading certain things. You're meant to be in certain rooms, taking the initiative, building stuff, or doing things that are going to be, you're very successful, and he's always going to be behind you, right? I'm also hearing like, one call away, but he's saying that more than anything, as much as you're disappointed about the whole situation, you're mostly stagnant because of the cleanness. You're very clean, in terms of when it comes to certain things, certain spaces, certain stuff. And not only that, you have the fear of moving on. I'm also hearing that he also has the fear of being forgotten, but he understands that, again, a person that was truly loved will never be forgotten. Now, this is a whole thing. He's bringing forward the fact that even though there was, he's saying like, basically, he's like, one day, hopefully one day, if I can redo this life thing, I'm also hearing I Was Here by Beyonce. But the main songs that I was hearing were by Michael Jackson, also the Earth song and They Don't Care About Us. But yeah, so he was saying that there's certain information that has to be revealed, right? You're only going to find it out possibly via like social media and so on. Remember that I said the email. Check the emails, check the pins, check whatever it is that you can get. Because I was also getting like, I'm also hearing the word missionary. Wow, why am I getting the word missionary? Time. But remember, trapped. Remember that separated by distance. Remember that he wants to basically spend time with you guys, but there has to be certain consequences that happen to a certain someone, especially the person that knows what was happening. Like, you need to look deeper into the situation and be aware. Because I'm also getting sharks. Sharks are very significant. Besides that, he's saying that yes, you're definitely going into a new direction with time. Yes, this is a very... Yeah, it's like the delays that are happening in your life is because you're failing to move on from this. There's a lot of emotions. There's a lot of emotional baggage. There's a lot of emotional, I'm hearing rut. You're in an emotional rut. Right? And he's also telling you that there's actually someone that's actually secretly admiring you. Right? Besides that, yeah, there's someone that's actually in your energy that is admiring you, or that is devoted to understanding and taking care of you. It doesn't just have to be romantic, but it's mostly romantic. Because even now, it's like the both of you are in this position of silence where you're just frozen. Time is frozen. You don't know what the hell is going on. The movie Frozen might be very significant. Same goes for the movie of the Trolls. The storyline of the movie The Trolls might be very significant, but he's saying that you'll see the truth. Eventually, you'll see the truth. Anyways, thank you for listening to this reading. I'm so sorry for it for like being this long. It's just a very heavy message, and I felt like you might need more clarity on the situation. But like I said, I hope that this message resonated with you, and I hope that you and your family heal. And please share it with as many people as you can, because I know that someone needs it. I don't know how it's going to get to them, but they definitely need it. This is it.